Mr. Onodion Hussein, an indigene of Ikwenang in Etemekpo local government area, Akwa Ibom State. He is an educationist with master's degree obtained from Michael Opara University of Agriculture with special teaching talent. He's also a minister of the gospel and a prolific writer. What is unique about this very guest? What's unique about him is that he is visually impaired. He cannot see, but that has helped him to make his hands, his legs, everything about him, they see. His heart sees. And what brought him to us? We hosted a Kerebon Ekwere, another physically impaired person who could not finish his master's degree. He cried to us, and we cried to the world. And one man came and assisted us, and by the grace of God, Ekerebon has completed his master's program. And one of the tears he cried was that he needed a reading aid. And this visually impaired person donated his own reading aid. He said he had two, brand new. He donated it. He never knew Ekerebon. He just heard. I gave Ekerebon's number here. They talked, they met, and Ekerebon brought the reading aid. In as much as he needs another one now, but I said I'm going to host this unique person called Onodion Hussein. Onodion Hussein, you are welcome to Open Forum with NKO.
Thank you very much, sir.
You are most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Let me introduce our other guests in Abuja. I'm sure he's watching us. He will know when I'm going to call on him. He is none other than Mr. Patrick Hussein. I won't say more than that. Patrick Hussein, who he is and what he has done and what he hopes to come out from what he did for the state, you will hear in our conversation today. We are not shifting it. We are not shifting it. So, Mr. Patrick said, if you are watching us online, please, if you stand by, we're going to put a call across to you since it's not possible for you to join us here live. And then straight to Onodion. Onodion.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Open Forum once again.
It's a privilege to be here, sir.
We are going to have maybe 10 minutes with you because we need to talk with Mr. Patrick Hussein, and then we have other issues we're going to give hints about. But that 10 minutes or thereabout is going to be very fruitful. You listened to our program, and then you acted on an appeal that was made by a fellow visually impaired person. What motivated that kind of move?
I would simply say it's good to do good, and it pays to do good.
Awesome. Now, you are needy. People, I'm sorry to use that term. Naturally, if somebody is challenged, people are challenged differently.
Yes.
I have said I have legs, but I am challenged. You just had me make appeal. We're running this program almost like saying with blood, you know. But we don't care because we have to do by faith. Faith is our currency, but you need to translate it to cash. When did you start discovering that you have this passion to help people? Let me start from there.
So I think I will say it's from my background.
What is your background, very briefly?
My background, my Christian background, my parents, they have taught us giving, so we learn from there.
Awesome. I thank you so very much. Learning from what good parents is what has brought you to us. And when we talked of, you told me how frustrated you have been about humanity, about people, enough that you almost gave up until you heard us and said, this person is like he's a serious person. What made you sound so frustrated about humans?
It's my experience in my own state.
Which one is your state?
Akwa Ibom State.
What is that experience?
I was redeployed from Kogi State during my NYSC to Akwa Ibom because of this same challenge. The challenge? Yes.
Of your site?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was posted to School of Nursing, then School of Nursing. I think now they call it campus.
Okay.
Akwa Ibom State College of Nursing campus.
Where?
In Uyo here.
What happened there?
Between 2012 and 2013, I was serving as a core member there.
Okay.
And after that, I was retained, engaged by the school because of my commitment.
Really?
Yes, to continue teaching there. Though the principal then, as the case was, of blessed memory, Lady Irene Nyang, said that if she has a way, she would have kept me as a permanent staff. But attempts were made to make sure that I am kept as a permanent staff. But that was not successful because I don't want to go into that. But I've served there for good 10 years with the hope that as it runs, that along the way I will be absorbed. But it was very frustrating that after my 10 years of service in that school, I was just got relieved of my duty just like that.
Now, after your service here, you were retained because you were good, isn't it?
Yeah.
You were still retained as a casual staff.
Yes.
And well, you said something the first time we met, because yes. I needed to see you, and you came with your family. For your information, Onodion has a wonderful family, beautiful wife, and 2 lovely sons. All lovely children.
That's the grace of God.
Grace of God. Congratulations. We're in my office, and they are my friends. Yes. So, when you served, the stipends are normally given to corps members by the immediate office the person serves. Were you given?
So I was deprived of the 10,000 monthly allowance approved by the state government of Akwa Ibom for 12 months I served.
Why did that happen?
So I don't know how to explain that, but I think it was because 2 elevens were fighting in the then Ministry of Health. That is where the school, that is the ministry that managed the school as at that.
Ministry of Health.
Ministry of Health as at that time. So posted to School of Nursing, which was its parastatal, I was asked to go there to be captured for that payment. I went there, waited in the office for 2 hours. When the director of medical services that was serving then came, I tendered my request. She asked me to go out and go back to NYSC, that I should be reposted to Ministry of Health. When I have my predecessors who had passed through the same enrollment, I just discovered that there was a tussle. There was a kind of, I don't know what to say. Yes, infighting between director and another director. The director that was my boss and this very director, and I was deprived of that opportunity.
And those people did not have the compassion to know that you cannot be made a victim, because one of the things that I used to introduce was that you are a victim of oppression.
Yes, sir.
A victim, you've been victimized. You are a survivor, not just a victim, you are a survivor because you have outlived them by the grace of God. And then, till now, was any time they invite you to come and collect your stipend?
No.
If you are an authority in the Ministry of Health, and those in the, what do you call that center again? School of Nursing?
Then it was School of Nursing, now a campus of Akwa Ibom State College of Nursing.
We are going to follow up on the records of Onodion to see that his entitlement when he served between 2012 and 2013, that entitlement, even if it's 1 naira, is paid. You will hear from us authorities, but beyond that, there are some other things you mentioned, that you were, even the people in that very campus, the authorities there were against you. What were you doing that pitched you against the people of where you were serving?
Sir, I introduced a preparatory class. Then they used to organize this entrance examination. Not now, they are using JAM. So I introduced a preparatory class for candidates seeking to gain admission into School of Nursing. The director of nursing services then, sir, I want to reserve names.
Reserve names? The question is okay. I want
to reserve names. Came directly attacking that program, that is not their culture. And I survived because the principal then understood my passion for teaching, directed me on what to do. So I had to move away from the facility and get another facility to be running the program.
Okay.
So the next thing that I have first, the next challenge I have first with them is compiling questions, past questions, and providing answers to them to prepare candidates for the entrance exam. And they were like, if I was dealing with hard drugs, in fact, it was a big fight.
How do you mean by that?
Because they were against it. They were seriously against it. In fact, once, yes, as if I was committing a crime. Once they even have to seize one of my employees, they found with the past question booklet. But now I don't know how they can reconcile that, because they are prospective candidates or students. I will use that.
Yes.
Their prospective students are going for preparatory class, that's JAM, and they're using JAM pass question, because now the mode of entry is through It's true jam. I don't know how
what
they
do
can
you
consider
think?
that.
When that happened, what came to your mind? Was it that these people did not like your person, or they lack the vision that people should be prepared for examination? What do you think made supposed authorities that should encourage academic excellence to attack you?
So one of the major factors that I recognize
Yes.
was that they were not running the program as if it's an academic program.
How were they running the program?
They were running as if it's just a kind of a apprenticeship. Thank God now that the dream of making the place an academic environment has come true. And I believe that the changes that have started happening will continue.
Let's leave it there. You are a writer. What are the books you've written so far?
Okay, I've written a book on anatomy, succinct anatomy and physiology. I've written a book on ICT in health. I've written a book on...
Okay, leave it there. Are they being bought? Are they being used anywhere?
Yes.
Where?
Like ICT was adopted by the schools of nursing, and some of the campuses are still using it to today.
Okay, let's leave it there. Onodion is a gift from God to Akwa Ibom State. He is so blessed enough that his lack of sight, which is something I would have loved to talk about, but because of time, I won't be able to talk about it now. We may likely have him some other time. He is so blessed that people would cite people that are not physically challenged become mentally challenged when they come to him. Now, what is your request?
Sir, I will respectfully and humbly request the government of Akwa Ibom State, and specifically, I want to, sir, permit me to stand.
No, don't stand. We are in the studio. No, please don't.
Okay.
We are streaming. Sit down.
In honor
help
to,
him back to this. Help him back.
In honor to my governor, His Excellency,
Yes.
Pastor Umo Eno.
Yes.
My appeal is that my talent, my passion should not be allowed to be wasted. I should be engaged permanently. What I can do with this challenge is teaching, and I have passion for it. So if I'm engaged, I promise that I will do my very best to deliver.
I lack words. I know once in a while I've had to cry on air, like when a young girl that we tried to see how we can help her said on air that she doesn't want to die. Government should come to his aid. But that government, that administration never cared. That young girl died. 8-year-old girl died. I wept. Thank God we were not penalized for doing that on air. And I've just heard another deep one. He wanted to stand up, but because he's physically challenged, he doesn't know the gadgets in front of him. He can't see. This very sight issue, I must add, this sight issue, for knowledge of those who may not know, what do you call this kind of sight issue? It's important we drop it.
It is diagnosed to be retinitis pigmentosa, a genetic disorder. It doesn't really have a medical therapy for now, except those aids we just use to manage.
Good. That is enough from childhood, and the parents were so smart. They told him, this challenge that you have, you're going to move very fast, and he got to school, brilliant. Did finish his degree program, went for his master's, and here he is. He has appealed to His Excellency, Dr. Umo Basieno. We call you, sir, compassion personified. Some people challenge me. Has he said to your problem? I said, no, it's not about me. I'm solving other people's problem. My problem is going to be solved. But please, Your Excellency, a letter will come from us, just like that of a cherubim, just like others. Please let Onodion Hussein be gainfully engaged, and the authorities of Ministry of Health and the School of Nursing, whatever name it has now or whatever name it was then, we are going to reach out to you. His entitlement as a core member, you are going to give it to him. We will follow up and report to humanity that that is done. Thank you so very much.